In 2029, 10 people will board a spaceship and leave Earth forever. Musk calls them a suicide squad. This isn't a joke. This is SpaceX's officially announced Mars colonization plan. One-way ticket, 8-month journey, no fuel for the return trip, no supply stations. Even the oxygen they breathe has to be made on-site. But the scarier part, these 10 people are just the beginning. Musk's ultimate goal, to put 1 million people on Mars and build a city on the red planet. You might ask, why Mars? Isn't the moon way closer? That's exactly the point. The moon is just 380,000 kilometers from Earth. A spaceship can go back and forth in a few days. But Mars, even at its closest, it's 55 million kilometers away. One way takes 8 months. Musk put it plainly, it's precisely because it's far that Mars must be the one. The moon is too close. If something goes wrong, you can still count on Earth for rescue. But not Mars. Mars colonists must learn to survive on their own, eat Martian food, drink Martian water, burn Martian fuel. In other words, this isn't immigration, this is exiled survival. So what conditions does Mars Hovito let humans live? Honestly, they're slightly better than you think, but only slightly. First, time. A day on Mars is called a sol. It lasts 24.6 hours, just 36 minutes longer than Earth. Your biological clock won't even notice. Second, tilt. Mars has an axial tilt of 25.19 degrees, Earth is 23.5 degrees, almost identical. What does that mean? Mars also has spring, summer, autumn, winter. It has day and night. More importantly, Mars sits right inside the sun's habitable zone. Daytime temperatures can reach around 20 degrees Celsius. Sounds okay, right? But what really excited scientists was a huge discovery in 2024. NASA's InSight lander used seismic data to confirm huge amounts of liquid water hidden inside Mars' crust. This water is stored in rock cracks 10 to 20 kilometers on the ground. How much water? If you pump it all out and spread it across Mars, it would cover the entire planet 1.6 kilometers deep. This is the most authoritative conclusion about liquid water on Mars to date. Where there's water, there's hope. Think you can just drink it? Naive. This water is buried over 10 kilometers deep. Getting it out requires special drilling and heating technology. And Mars' atmosphere is 99.87% carbon dioxide. Oxygen is a pitiful 0.13% less than 1/1000 of Earth's. The first breath you take there could suffocate you. Fortunately, in 2021, NASA's Perseverance rover carried a 17-kilogram device that made history. For the first time ever, humans successfully produced oxygen on another planet. The idea is simple. Heat CO2 from Mars' atmosphere to 800 degrees Celsius, split it electrolytically, and extract oxygen. It can produce up to 12 grams per hour, with purity over 98%. What's 12 grams? About enough for one person to breathe for 10 minutes. The number sounds small, but the meaning is enormous. It proves one thing. Mars resources can be used in situ. We don't have to bring everything from Earth. What about housing? Night temperatures on Mars drop to minus 80 degrees Celsius, colder than Antarctica. Daytime UV radiation cuts straight through your skin. Long exposure drastically increases cancer risk. NASA's solution sounds crazy. Build houses from ice. First, set up an inflatable frame, then robots fill it with water ice from Mars. Ice insulates, blocks radiation, and the semi-transparent material lets light in. Even more hardcore, building materials. Scientists found that mixing minerals from Martian soil with urea processed from human urine can make high-strength concrete. They turned waste into construction material, circular economy taken to the extreme. But you think once you have water, oxygen, and shelter, you're good to go. Mars has one thing that can erase all progress in an instant. Dust storms. Martian dust storms are not just wind and sand. They're frozen CO subliming directly into gas, creating insanely strong wind that engulf the entire planet. Not one city, not one continent, the whole planet. These superstorms come roughly every 3 years and last for months. They turn Mars' atmosphere into a muddy soup. Sunlight can't reach the surface. In 2018, NASA's Opportunity rover died this way. It was only designed for 90 days but survived 15 years on Mars. Then the massive dust storm hit. Its solar panels were covered in thick dust. Sunlight dropped by battery. The batteries couldn't charge. NASA tried everything to put it in sleep mode, but contact was lost forever. Opportunity's last message to humanity. It's getting dark. My battery is almost dead. And it stayed there forever in the red dust. China's Zhurong rover suffered a similar fate. In May 2022, a Mars dust storm covered its panels. It went into hibernation and hasn't woken up since. So there's a critical step in Musk's plan. Before humans land, robots must be sent ahead. SpaceX's plan, launch 5 starships in 2026 carrying robots and equipment to Mars. These robots will build 2 life or death factories. 1 water treatment plant dig up on the ground ice, melt and purify it. 1 fuel plant use electrolyzed hydrogen and CO2 from Mars' atmosphere to synthesize methane fuel for return ships. Only after these facilities are built will humans set foot on Mars. Arcadia Planitia, in the northern hemisphere, northeast of Olympus Mons. This is SpaceX's chosen site for the first Mars city. It's near the equator for maximum sunlight. More importantly, data shows massive underground water ice here. On Mars, water is currency. Without it, nothing works. Musk's goal, build 1,000 starships in 10 years. Launch 1 every 3 days, each carries 100 people. Use the Earth-Mars launch window every 26 months for mass transport. By 2050, build a self-sustaining city on Mars for 1 million people. Why exactly 1 million? That's the number Musk calculated for a civilization to sustain and reproduce itself. To survive independently without its home planet, the minimum population is 1 million. He said it clearly. This Mars city is not a vacation resort, it's a backup drive for human civilization. If one day disaster hits Earth, the spark of humanity continues on the red planet. This sounds like science fiction, but every step is moving forward. Robotics, fuel synthesis, in-situ resource utilization, construction and recycling, all being developed at the same time. Tesla's Optimus robot is being built specifically for Mars bases. Of course, many people doubt it. Will it really happen by 2050? No one knows. But one thing is certain, from 1960 until now, humanity has launched over 50 missions to Mars. Every failure is data for the next success. Every machine sleeping on Mars tells us, in its own way, how dangerous and how worthy that red desert is. And that may be the most fascinating thing about the human species. We know ahead is an abyss, but we still can't help jumping in to see. That red desert, 55 million kilometers away, is waiting for its first residents. Maybe you, maybe your children.